Good afternoon, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. This is Rich again, back for the second video blog of the day for Sunday, November 1st, 2015, around 5:40 in the afternoon, Billerica, Massachusetts. It's dark out now, daylight standard time. Sun went down an hour ago. It was a mix of sun and cloud for most of the day, some dampness, but when the sun came out, it shoot up to the 50s. This week and next week in New England, above average temperatures. Could have several days of 60s and maybe one at 70, which is pretty good for this time of year. It could be cold, could be freezing rain and snow. Some news to report: Cincinnati Bengals now 7-0, and Montreal Canadiens star goaltender Carey Price is going to miss at least 1 week of action due to an undisclosed lower body injury. That's about it on the news. My second video subject of the day is about the former WWE faction, D-Generation X, also known as DX. DX was one of the biggest factions in professional wrestling history. Lasted from 1997 through 2000, got revived in 2006 through 2010. It was the main people in it was the Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels, Hunter Hearst Helmsley, Triple H, X-Pac, the New Age Outlaws, the Road Dogg, Jesse James, the Badass Billy Gunn, and China and stuff. Even though DX were heels at first, they eventually became faces. They sold the most merchandise than any WWE superstar during the Attitude Era except for Stone Cold Steve Austin. Background on DX. The DX was started by Shawn Michaels and Hunter Hearst Helmsley because they were part of the Clique, along with Scott Hall, also known as Razor Ramon, Kevin Nash, Big Daddy Cool Diesel, and Sean Waltman, 1, 2, 3 Kid. When Waltman, Hall, and Nash left for WCW to form the NWO, Shawn Michaels and Triple H pushed Vince McMahon to have both of them together on screen, but at the time Triple H was basically a jobber to the stars, and Shawn Michaels was WWE champion. And in August of 1997, when Shawn Michaels turned heel, he teamed with Triple H in a match against The Undertaker and Mankind on Monday Night Raw. Triple H was with China, his bodyguard, and HBK was with Rick Rude, Ravishing Rick Rude, who was an insurance policy at the time. And the chemistry between Triple H and HBK was so good, the WWE decided to put Shawn Michaels and Hunter Hearst Helmsley and China and Ravishing Rick Rude together as a foursome, and they worked together pretty good. They interfered in each other's matches. Triple H at the time was feuding with Mankind and the Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels against the Undertaker, and they had some crazy interviews and stuff. And October of 1997, this is when DX officially got its name. They did a lot of skits with Michael Cole, with interviewing them, which was pretty funny. Shawn Michaels would always say, "Suck it," and they would do crotch chops. And officially, they were called DX on November 12th, 1997's edition of Monday Night Raw, when Shawn Michaels and Hunter Hearst Helmsley said that it's D-Generation X, and also like Shawn Michaels did skits with the Hart Foundation and stuff, like when there was a match between Triple H and Bret the Hitman Hart on Monday Night Raw. Shawn Michaels put his nose up his nostril doing the Canadian flag, which was so disrespectful and stuff, but the fans were cheering for that. And DX continued to feud with the Hart Foundation, which was Bret the Hitman Hart, Jim the Anvil Knight Hart, Owen Hart, and the British Bulldog Davey Boy Smith, until Survivor Series 1997, when the infamous Montreal Screwjob happened, when Shawn Michaels beat Bret the Hitman Hart for the WWE title. And afterwards, like, Shawn Michaels just was, he thought he told Bret he wasn't on it at first, but he eventually knew about it. And then afterwards, like, Shawn Michaels and Hunter Hearst Helmsley and Chyna and Ravishing Rick Rude did like an interview on Monday Night Raw after Survivor Series, which was pretty awesome. But Rick Rude backstage was pissed off about the Montreal Screwjob. He was not working. He was working without an official WWE contract. He was getting paid per appearance. He goes to Monday Nitro on November 17th, 1997. He was fully beard, but he shaved off his beard. He only had his mustache, and he shooted on Shawn Michaels and joined the NWO. And they taped Raw that night on the previous Tuesday, and Rick Rude was with DX and with a beard and stuff. And also Shawn Michaels and Triple H like kind of had a midget Bret the Hitman Hart on a Raw in November 24th, 1997, which was pretty funny. DX had its own pay-per-view called In Your House Degeneration X. The main event was Ken Shamrock, the world's most dangerous man, against Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels for the WWE title. Triple H faced off against Sergeant Slaughter, who was the commissioner. Ken Shamrock won the match by disqualification, and Owen Hart comes out of the stands and attacks Shawn Michaels. And then one night on Raw, on December 8th, 1997, DX takes over Raw and they play strip poker, which was pretty funny. You know, around this time, DX's skits was getting interviews, were so classic and stuff. Shawn Michaels was slated to have a long-running feud with Owen Hart, the Soul Surviving Hart, the Black Hart, but they only had a few matches. Shawn Michaels and Hunter Hearst Helmsley did not want to feud with Owen Hart at all because of what happened with the Screwjob. And he thought Owen Hart would shoot on like Shawn or Triple H. And DX also on Monday Night Raw before Christmas 1997 came out like showing the butt naked butts. But they were censored and they were dressed like Christmas trees. They also had a fake match for the European title, which Shawn Michaels held for about a few months, and he defended against Triple H, and they had a tease of DX breakup, which was pretty good, but you know, they never really was going to attempt to break up. DX with Shawn Michaels and Hunter Hearst Helmsley and Chyna reached its peak when Shawn Michaels was on the cover of Raw magazine in February 1998, with him only wearing his WWE Championship belt. And that's at the height of DX with Shawn Michaels and Triple H during the Royal Rumble 1998, during the casket match between The Undertaker and Shawn Michaels. Shawn hits his back on the casket. He suffers a serious back injury. His in-ring career is basically in jeopardy, but he still has so many skits that are so funny and stuff. He like how do you want your Undertaker done with him, Triple H, and Chyna as a barbecue the next night after the Royal Rumble. They had a mock thing with like during the Bill Clinton thing when he had that scandal with like Monica Lewinsky. They mocked that, which was pretty funny and stuff. HBK was going to face off against Stone Cold Steve Austin at WrestleMania 14. DX recruited Mike Tyson, who was going to be the special guest ring side, like enforcer for WrestleMania 14 to DX for a few weeks to get into the minds of Stone Cold Steve Austin, but that backfired because Stone Cold Steve Austin beat Shawn Michaels for the WWE title at WrestleMania 14. Shawn Michaels' back was so bad that he could barely, take bumps and stuff, and that was it for Shawn Michaels in DX for that time period. And then the next night on Raw, Triple H becomes the new leader of DX with China. He said he booted Shawn Michaels out, and he recruits X-Pac and the New Age Outlaws, the Road Dogg Jesse James, the Badass Billy Gunn to the crew, and this is when DX takes off from being a heel faction to a face faction. More and more fans were wearing like DX stuff. Everybody was saying "suck it" or the crotch chops, which was getting pretty funny. Triple H was saying, "Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to suck it." And the Badass Billy Gunn said, "If you ain't down with that, we got 2 words for you, suck it." Or X-Pac would say, "Your ass is grass, and I'm going to smoke you." And one Monday Night Raw in April of 1998, DX went to the Norfolk Scope to try to invade WCW Monday Nitro because WWE was being taped in nearby Hampton Roads, Virginia, which was just down the road from the Norfolk Scope. But they didn't get in. But these skits were pretty good. DX was feuding with the Nation of Domination, which was The Rock, and Owen Hart, and The Godfather, and Mark Henry and D'Lo Brown. This feud was several months. Some of the funniest skits DX would do and stuff like that. They mocked the Nation of Domination. Very, very funny. And the New Age Outlaws were WWE Tag Team Champions for several times during this time period when they were part of DX. X-Pac was, feuding with a variety of wrestlers, and Triple H was feuding with The Rock over the IC Championship, which he won in a ladder match at SummerSlam 1998 with help from China and stuff. And DX had a couple of videos come out, which was real popular. Michael Cole hosted him, and Michael Cole was bullied by Generation X. The sales of DX merchandise got up there with Stone Cold Steve Austin, and through the rest of 1998 and early 1999, DX was popular. But in 1999, that changed. China turned against Triple H the night after the Royal Rumble 1999, joining the corporation, and a few months later, Triple H turns heel, and he joins the corporation as well, and DX is just X-Pac and the New Age Outlaws. Eventually, the New Age Outlaws break up and feud with each other, and DX temporarily disbands. But in October of 1999, DX comes back with Triple H and like X-Pac and the New Age Outlaws, and they were heels this time, and eventually they were joined by like Stephanie McMahon and Tori, and I did not like this version of the heel version of DX because they were kind of like becoming corporate stooges for the McMahons and stuff on air. Everybody hated X-Pac and stuff. Triple H really didn't need DX at this time because he turned heel and he was being pushed as like a serious world champion. He didn't need to be part of a faction anymore, especially DX, which fans love to say the suck it and stuff like that. And they were like, eventually people didn't like X-Pac or the Road Dogg, and I think they were going to try to, have the Road Dogg and and X-Pac have a long-running feud in WWE for the late 2000s, but that was abruptly ended because the Road Dogg got released because he had flunked a drug test and stuff, and DX basically dissolved for several years and stuff. They tried to bring that back in 2002, briefly, when Shawn Michaels came back to the WWE and Triple H was with him, like one night on Raw. This is when Eric Bischoff was WWE Raw General Manager, but Triple H turned on Shawn Michaels, and that was it. Into 2006, when Shawn Michaels was, feuding with Vince McMahon and Shane McMahon and all this stuff with about like God and this and that. It was pretty, that was a lame storyline. But when Triple H got word of this, he helped his buddy Shawn Michaels, and DX was reformed, and DX feuded with the McMahons and the Spirit Squad and the Randy Orton and Edge and other factions. And this was just Shawn Michaels and Hunter Hearst Helmsley, Triple H, and it was pretty good to see DX back. There was limited amounts of crotch chopping and stuff and sucking because Shawn Michaels is a born-again Christian and he didn't say too much about that stuff, but Triple H said a few of that stuff, but it was a little more tame and stuff like that. There were rumors they were going to add more people to DX, like CM Punk or the Hardy Boys and a few others. They tried to get like Sean Waltman back as X-Pac to the WWE, but he never came back. And this run for DX lasted about 4 years, from 2006 to 2010. It was kind of a nostalgia trip for DX, which was, pretty good and stuff. Just Shawn Michaels and Hunter Hearst Helmsley, Triple H, which I kind of really liked a lot. They came out a few more DX DVDs and actually a DX book, which was pretty good. And DX officially dissolved in 2010 when Shawn Michaels retired from in-ring competition. They had one night reunion when they had the Raw 1000th anniversary show in July 2012, which was pretty good. Everyone in DX came down except for China. China's not on good terms with the WWE. And DX is probably one of the most popular factions in WWE history and stuff, and everybody loves to say you suck it and stuff. They were real funny and stuff. They made Michael Cole's life miserable a lot. This is when Michael Cole was started as a WWE announcer. And soon, very soon, probably I'll tell you about the WWE Attitude Era. That's about it on this. My third and final video blog of the night's coming up. It will be about personality profile. Will be about Paul Harvey, the late great Paul Harvey. Keep calm, everybody. I'm Julie Brennan Guy. Molly Rosenblatt of Fox 35 Roxanne has nice legs. Elizabeth Hart's so stunning, and she also has nice legs. And in words of Bruce Cronin, want to put a wager on that, Richie? Bye now.